Stop everything you're doing and listen to me with every fiber of your being, because I'm about to shatter the greatest lie ever told about human potential. I'm Clement Stone, and I've spent my entire life proving that the difference between extraordinary success and crushing mediocrity isn't talent, luck, connections, or circumstances. The difference is this, and successful people understand that they are the architects of their own destiny, while unsuccessful people live as tenants in buildings designed by others. You see, right now, at this very moment, you are standing at the construction site of your future. Around you lie the raw materials of infinite possibility. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your decisions, and your actions. But here's what most people never realize. These materials don't randomly assemble themselves into success. They must be deliberately crafted, precisely engineered, and systematically constructed according to a master blueprint that exists in only one place, your subconscious mind. For over 7 decades, I've watched millions of people struggle with buildings they never designed, living in structures of limitation, failure, and disappointment that were constructed by default rather than by design. They wake up each morning in mental architecture created by fear, doubt, past failures, and the toxic opinions of others who never built anything significant in their lives. Then they wonder why their life feels cramped, unstable, and uninspiring. But I discovered something that changed everything when I was just a young man selling insurance policies for 35 cents a piece. I discovered that your subconscious mind is the master architect of your reality, and visualization is the drafting tool that creates the blueprints for your future. Not tomorrow's future, not someday's future, the future that begins materializing the moment you take conscious control of your mental construction project. When I built Combined Insurance Company from nothing into a billion-dollar empire, I didn't do it by accident or through favorable circumstances. I did it by first constructing a magnificent skyscraper of success in my mind, then systematically building that vision into reality through the most powerful construction process ever discovered. Program visualization backed by unwavering belief and relentless action. But let me be brutally honest with you about something that will determine whether you succeed or fail. Most people are not architects of their own destiny. They're vandals. Every day they take sledgehammers of doubt, fear, and negative thinking to the very foundation of their potential. They sabotage their own construction project before the first floor is even complete. They tear down in one moment of weakness what took months of mental building to create. You cannot build a magnificent life with the tools of destruction. You cannot create extraordinary results with ordinary thinking. You cannot construct a skyscraper of success on a foundation of doubt, fear, and limitation. It's structurally impossible. The laws of mental architecture are as precise and immutable as the laws of physical architecture. This is why visualization isn't just positive thinking or wishful dreaming. Visualization is precision engineering for the human mind. It's the process of creating detailed blueprints that your subconscious mind will follow with mathematical accuracy. But these blueprints must be drawn with absolute clarity, reinforced with emotional conviction, and protected from the destructive influences that would corrupt the design. Think of your mind as the most sophisticated architectural firm in the universe. Your conscious mind is the client who presents the vision. Your subconscious mind is the master architect who transforms that vision into detailed blueprints. Your emotions are the construction crew that brings unlimited energy to the building process. Your actions are the heavy machinery that moves the raw materials into position. And your beliefs are the foundation that determines whether your structure will stand or collapse under pressure. When I visualized building the largest insurance company in America, I wasn't daydreaming or engaging in fantasy. I was creating architectural plans so detailed, so emotionally compelling, and so structurally sound that my subconscious mind had no choice but to begin the construction process immediately. I could see the headquarters building, feel the weight of responsibility for thousands of employees, hear the gratitude of millions of policyholders, and experience the deep satisfaction of creating financial security for families across the nation. Those blueprints became so real to me that I began thinking, speaking, and acting like a man who already owned the largest insurance company in America, long before I had even sold my first 1,000 policies. And because I thought, spoke, and acted from that architectural certainty, I began attracting the people, opportunities, and resources necessary to transform my mental blueprints into physical reality. This is the power of understanding yourself as the architect of your own destiny. When you realize that your current circumstances are nothing more than the physical manifestation of old blueprints that were probably designed by someone else, you suddenly understand that you have the power to tear down those old structures and build something magnificent in their place. But magnificent architecture requires magnificent blueprints. And magnificent blueprints require what I call crystalline clarity. Most people's goals are like rough sketches drawn on a napkin. They want success, but they can't tell you exactly what their success will look like, feel like, or function like. They want wealth, but they have no specific architectural plans for building it. They want happiness, but they've never designed a blueprint for what happiness means in their daily experience. So crystalline clarity means knowing exactly what you're building, why you're building it, when you want it completed, and what you're willing to sacrifice to see it constructed. It means having blueprints so detailed that you could hand them to someone else and they could build your vision without asking a single question. It means programming your subconscious mind with architectural specifications so precise that every thought, emotion, and action automatically aligns with your construction project. When I decided to revolutionize the insurance industry, I didn't have a vague goal of being successful. I had specific architectural plans for building a company that would provide insurance to working families who had been ignored by traditional companies. I could see the exact number of agents we would recruit, the precise training systems we would develop, the specific territories we would expand into, and the revolutionary sales methods we would pioneer. That clarity created what I call architectural magnetism. When your blueprints are clear enough and emotionally compelling enough, your subconscious mind begins to attract everything necessary for construction. Ideas, opportunities, people, resources, and circumstances begin aligning themselves with your building project in ways that seem almost miraculous to those who don't understand the laws of mental architecture. But clarity alone won't construct your building. You must also understand the role of belief in the architectural process. Belief is not hope or positive thinking or wishful optimism. Belief is the structural engineering that determines whether your mental blueprints can support the weight of reality. Weak beliefs create weak structures that collapse at the first sign of pressure. Strong beliefs create unshakable foundations that can support unlimited success. When I tell you that I believed I would build a billion-dollar empire even when I was selling newspapers on the corners of Chicago, I'm not talking about blind faith or naive optimism. I'm talking about structural confidence based on understanding the engineering principles of success. I believe because I understood that success is not random but predictable. Success follows specific architectural laws, and that anyone willing to apply those laws with precision and persistence can build whatever they're committed to constructing. The first law is this: your outer world is always a perfect construction project based on your inner blueprints. Always, without exception. If you don't like your current building, don't blame the construction crew, the materials, or the weather. Examine your blueprints. If your blueprints are flawed, your building will be flawed. If your blueprints are magnificent, your building will be magnificent. The second law is this: your subconscious mind is the most faithful contractor in the universe. It will build exactly what you program it to build, but it cannot improve on faulty blueprints. If you program it with images of limitation, it will construct limitation. If you program it with images of failure, it will construct failure. If you program it with images of extraordinary success, it will construct extraordinary success. The choice of what gets built is entirely yours. The third law is this: the construction process never stops. Every moment you're awake, you're either strengthening your current structure or building a new one. Every thought you think is either adding to your building or subtracting from it. Every emotion you feel is either energizing the construction crew or demoralizing them. Every action you take is either moving materials into position or scattering them to the wind. This is why you must become a master architect of your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. You must learn to guard your blueprints like they're state secrets, because they literally contain the design specifications for your future reality. You must protect your construction site from the vandals who would love to contaminate your plans with their own limitations, fears, and failures. Most people are unconscious architects. They allow their blueprints to be drawn by external circumstances and media influences, negative people, and past disappointments. They're building by default rather than by design, reacting to life instead of creating it. Then they wonder why their building feels unstable, cramped, and depressing. But when you become a conscious architect of your own destiny, everything changes. You begin to deliberately design the life you want to live rather than accidentally constructing a life you want to escape. Take control of the blueprints. You choose the materials. You supervise the construction crew. You become the master builder of your own magnificent future. Now let me share with you the specific architectural process that has transformed more lives than any other technique I've ever discovered. This is the systematic method for creating blueprints so compelling that your subconscious mind will work 24 hours a day to construct them into your reality. Every morning, before the world begins to impose its limitations on your thinking, you must spend at least 30 minutes in what I call architectural visualization. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is precision blueprint creation. You must see your ideal life with such clarity and detail that it becomes more real to you than your current circumstances. But don't just observe your future like you're looking at someone else's building. Step inside it, walk through every room, experience every detail. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, smell the aromas, taste the satisfaction of living in the magnificent structure you've designed. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Experience the confidence, the fulfillment, the deep sense of purpose that comes from living in a building perfectly designed for your highest potential. Most importantly, visualize with absolute certainty that this building is not just possible, but inevitable. You must program your subconscious architect with such conviction that doubt becomes impossible. You must see your success as a foregone conclusion, as a completed construction project, as something that cannot be prevented, because you understand the laws of mental architecture and you're willing to apply them with unwavering persistence. But visualization without action is like having blueprints without construction. Your mental architecture must be coupled with physical building activities that move you steadily toward your goals. The purpose of visualization is not to replace action, but to ensure that every action you take is guided by clear blueprints and powered by absolute conviction. When your subconscious mind is programmed with detailed architectural plans, it begins to guide your conscious actions with remarkable precision. You begin to notice construction opportunities that were always there, but that you never saw before. You begin to attract the skilled workers who can help you build your vision. You begin to acquire the tools and materials necessary for construction. You begin to make building decisions with a confidence and clarity that accelerates everything you touch. This is not magic. This is the natural result of aligning your inner blueprints with your outer construction activities. When your subconscious mind is programmed with clear architectural plans, your conscious mind begins to operate from that foundation of clarity. So you think like a master builder, speak like a master builder, and act like a master builder long before your construction project is complete. And because you think, speak, and act from that level of architectural certainty, you begin to create the very results that justify that certainty. But let me warn you about the most dangerous threat to any construction project: the termites of negative mental attitude. These are the destructive thoughts that eat away at your foundation when you're not paying attention. They seem small and insignificant, but left unchecked, they can bring down the most magnificent building ever designed. Negative mental attitude is not just the absence of positive thinking. It's the active presence of destructive forces that literally corrupt your architectural blueprints. Doubt, fear, resentment, and limiting beliefs are like acid that dissolves the very foundation of your construction project. They turn solid blueprints into Swiss cheese, strong foundations into quicksand, and magnificent visions into nightmare. You must guard against these termites with absolute vigilance. You must understand that every thought you think is either strengthening your building or weakening it. Every word you speak is either attracting skilled workers to your construction site or driving them away. Every emotion you feel is either energizing your construction crew or demoralizing them. This is why you must be extremely selective about what you allow into your mental construction site. The books you read, the programs you watch, the conversations you participate in, and the people you associate with are all either supporting your building project or sabotaging it. You cannot afford to be casual about this. Your mental environment is literally determining the quality of your construction, and you must protect it with the same intensity that you would protect $1 billion building project. When termites of negativity begin to attack your foundation, and they will, you must not ignore them or hope they'll go away. You must immediately fumigate your mental construction site by redirecting your attention to your architectural blueprints. You must replace the destructive image with the constructive image so quickly and so consistently that your subconscious mind learns to default to building rather than demolishing. This requires what I call architectural discipline. Not the kind of discipline that feels like punishment, but the kind of discipline that comes from understanding that you're engaged in the most important construction project of your life, the deliberate building of your own magnificent destiny. Now let me tell you about the power of what I call architectural purpose. Because without this foundation, even the most beautiful blueprints will produce mediocre buildings. Architectural purpose means having a clear, compelling reason for every structure you're building. It means understanding not just what you're constructing, but why you're constructing it, and who will benefit from your completed building. When I built Combined Insurance Company, I wasn't just building a business. I was constructing a vehicle for providing financial security to working families who had been ignored by the insurance establishment. Every policy we sold was like adding another family to a building designed to protect them from financial disaster. That purpose gave meaning to every challenge, energy to every effort, and persistence to every setback. Purpose transforms construction work from drudgery into mission. It turns obstacles into opportunities, problems into puzzles, and temporary defeats into stepping stones toward ultimate victory. When you're building something larger than yourself, something that serves others while serving you, you tap into a source of energy and persistence that can overcome any obstacle. But purpose without passion is like a blueprint without emotion. Passion is the fire that energizes your construction crew, the fuel that powers your building equipment, the light that guides your work when the project becomes difficult. Passion makes you willing to work when others rest, and to persist when others quit, and to find solutions when others find excuses. Throughout my decades of building businesses and building people, I've learned that passion is not something you find, but something you create through the consistent application of your architectural talents to worthy projects. The more you build, the more passionate you become about building. The more you create, the more creative energy you develop. The more you achieve, the more achievement becomes your natural state of being. This is the upward spiral of architectural mastery. Every completed project gives you greater confidence to tackle larger projects. Every challenge overcome gives you greater skill to handle bigger challenges. Every success achieved gives you greater belief in your ability to create even greater successes. But the ultimate secret of architectural mastery is this: you must fall in love with the building process itself, not just with the completed structures. You must enjoy the daily work of construction as much as you anticipate satisfaction of completion. You must find joy in laying each brick and installing each window and perfecting each detail of your magnificent building. Most people want the penthouse but hate the construction work. They want the rewards of architectural mastery but refuse to pay the price of daily building activities. They're looking for shortcuts, magic formulas, and instant buildings that can only be created through persistent, intelligent application of proven construction principles. The master architect never stops building because the master architect understands that life itself is an ongoing construction project. Every day brings new opportunities to add to your building and improve your design, or start a more magnificent project. Every challenge is a chance to demonstrate your architectural skills. Every setback is an opportunity to prove the strength of your foundation. As we approach the completion of this architectural journey together, I want to share with you the ultimate blueprint for irresistible success. The blueprint begins with a foundation of absolute clarity about what you're building and why you're building it. Every line, every specification, and every detail must be so clear that you could build it with your eyes closed. Vague blueprints produce vague buildings. Specific blueprints produce specific results. The second level is belief so strong that it becomes structural certainty. You must know that your building will be completed, not because you hope it will, but because you understand the laws of construction. And you're willing to apply them with precision and persistence. Belief is not wishful thinking, but engineering confidence based on proven principles. The third level is daily visualization that programs your subconscious architect with increasingly detailed plans. Every morning, you must spend time walking through your completed building, experiencing every room, feeling every emotion, and reinforcing your certainty that this structure is not just possible, but inevitable. The fourth level is intelligent action that moves construction materials into position every single day. Knowledge without action is like blueprints without building. You must transform your plans into progress through consistent, purposeful construction activities that bring your vision closer to reality. The fifth level is persistence that continues construction even when the work becomes difficult, even when progress seems slow, even when others question your architectural vision. Master builders understand that magnificent structures are never completed quickly or easily, but they're always completed by those who refuse to abandon their construction project. The final level is gratitude for the opportunity to be the architect of your own destiny. Gratitude for the raw materials of potential that surround you. Gratitude for the construction tools that are available to you. Gratitude for the privilege of building something magnificent with your life rather than settling for someone else's cramped and limiting design. You are not here by accident. You were born to build something magnificent. You have within you the architectural talents to design and construct a life of extraordinary achievement, contribution, and fulfillment. But those talents will remain dormant unless you awaken them through the deliberate application of the architectural principles I've shared with you. The construction site of your magnificent future is waiting for you. The raw materials of unlimited potential surround you. The blueprints are ready to be drawn. The only question is whether you'll pick up the architect's tools and begin building, or continue living as a tenant in structures designed by others. Welcome to your architectural awakening. Welcome to the construction site of your dreams. Welcome to the magnificent building project that is your extraordinary, unstoppable, inevitable success.